A year ago, at 33, I found myself navigating a divorce from my husband of 7 years, who was 39 at the time. We had met during an internship while he was training to become a surgeon, and our relationship had blossomed beautifully. Although we both achieved our professional ambitions, our once happy marriage took a turn for the worse, especially when my mother-in-law, Karen, moved in with us. Karen never hid her contempt for me, firmly believing I was with her son for his money. Although my husband willingly supported my decision to be a stay-at-home wife, I initially dismissed Karen's attitude as typical for a mother-in-law. However, my indifference faded when I noticed her becoming increasingly friendly with one of my female friends, Caitlin. Karen frequently mentioned Caitlin in conversation, often comparing us in front of my husband. At first, I thought she was trying to push my friend toward him, believing Caitlin would be a better match. I was utterly wrong. It turned out my husband had been pursuing Caitlin and had been unfaithful to me for over 2 years. When he eventually asked for a divorce, he confessed his betrayal and expressed his desire for Caitlin to take my place in his life. The pain and anger I experienced intensified when he proposed a settlement, which I quickly refused, wanting nothing from him. To add insult to injury, both my ex-husband and mother-in-law mocked me, claiming they were doing me a favor by offering a financial boost. They doubted my ability to thrive independently, confidently predicting I would come back to them within 6 months. They had no idea that I had a different plan as soon as the divorce was finalized. After finding a cozy apartment using my savings, I dove into the job market, eager to start fresh. Before long, I secured an interview for a senior position at a prestigious private clinic, where I met Garrett, who later became my fiancé and boss. What began as an ordinary office romance quickly turned into something extraordinary. Within 4 months of dating, Garrett proposed, giving me the option to continue working or enjoy a comfortable life as a stay-at-home partner. As I embraced this new chapter, my ex-husband occupied little space in my thoughts. I consciously avoided the urge to stalk his social media accounts following our breakup. However, about a week ago, he reached out, expressing a wish to discuss matters. Initially, I ignored and blocked him upon recognizing his message. Yet, he persisted, and the next day, he showed up at my workplace. After some hesitation, I agreed to meet for lunch, anticipating a private conversation. To my astonishment, his mother accompanied him. During lunch, my ex launched into a remorseful rant, expressing regret for his past actions and desperately seeking forgiveness. The climax of this encounter was their pitiful plea for me to take him back. Unimpressed, I deemed their request pathetic and reminded them of their earlier prediction that I would come crawling back within 6 months. Despite my firm refusal, they continued to beg, envisioning a return to our former life. As my lunch break drew to a close, I reiterated my refusal and asked them to leave me in peace. I proudly stated that I now had a fiancé who was 100 times better than my ex-husband. As I departed, I playfully hinted at my fiancé being a colleague. Upon returning, I shared the strange encounter with Garrett, who vowed to look into the situation. The next couple of days passed with a sense of anticipation. Once he gathered the information, Garrett's investigative team uncovered a shocking truth about my ex-husband. It seemed that, blinded by arrogance and carelessness, he had inadvertently left an object inside a patient during surgery. Upon discovering this, the patient quickly filed a lawsuit against the hospital, which subsequently terminated my ex-husband's employment. This ongoing lawsuit posed a serious threat to his medical license. Understanding the severity of the situation, I realized why my ex-husband and mother-in-law were so desperately seeking my forgiveness. I decided to reach out to others for their opinions, asking, "Am I in the wrong for refusing to take my ex-husband back, despite their entreaties?" In my first update, I revealed that 2 days after the lunch confrontation, Garrett handed me an envelope containing a report filled with inaccuracies and fabrications aimed at tarnishing my reputation. It was clear that my ex-mother-in-law and her son orchestrated this smear campaign. The letter highlighted my supposed relationship with a colleague and referenced workplace policies, showing they had done some digging. Ironically, they overlooked the fact that my colleague's boyfriend was the owner who had implemented those very policies. I opted to disregard their attempts, knowing this might not be the end of their underhanded tactics. In the second update, I confirmed my suspicions when a flood of letters filled our mailbox, each filled with complaints about me. Fake accounts began posting negative reviews on our clinic's review site, all part of their coordinated effort to undermine my career. Despite the blatant fakeness of these accounts, the unrelenting assault on my professional reputation was unsettling. This situation made me consider the possible repercussions had I not been in a relationship with Garrett. As I faced these challenges, I couldn't help but think about the lengths they would go to ruin my career. The updates reflected a mix of appreciation for the support I received and anxiety over their ongoing attempts to sabotage my professional life. I resolved to build my life without them, refusing to be their puppet again. Contemplating revenge, I set my sights on something equally impactful: his marriage. Knowing my ex-friend was envious, I imagined her horror upon discovering he was trying to win me back, the woman they had deemed worthless, wanting them to experience their own medicine. I pondered what you all thought about my plan. In the third update, I set my revenge in motion. I created a new Instagram account and easily tracked down my ex-friend Caitlin, who, despite her husband's job loss and upcoming court case, flaunted a luxurious lifestyle online. Her posts showcased shopping sprees, romantic outings, and notably, her pregnancy. It stung to find out she married my ex-husband just 2 months after our divorce, considering the 7 years I had devoted to him. Nonetheless, armed with this knowledge, I initiated a conversation with her, slowly establishing a friendship. Over the month, I subtly planted seeds of doubt, playing the role of a supportive friend while gleaning information about her marital issues. Once I was convinced she was in the right place, I contacted my ex-husband, persuading him to meet privately to discuss the possibility of reigniting our relationship. I informed my fiancé and assured him that everything was under control for the upcoming events. At the meeting, I found him nervously happy, relishing in the twisted anticipation of knowing his happiness would soon turn into despair. In the first phase of the plan, I insisted that he must refer to me in the third person. Although confused, he complied. Transitioning to the second phase, I used leading questions to draw out his feelings about his marriage. As expected, he unleashed a torrent of bitterness, detailing his unhappiness, lack of love for his wife, and regrets over leaving me. He even expressed disdain for the unborn child, wishing for a miscarriage. He willingly threw his current wife under the bus, outlining explicit plans to return to me at the first opportunity. While some of the details were inappropriate for the workplace, the outcome aligned perfectly with my expectations. He exposed his true nature, confirming that my revenge plan was on track. Once I successfully deceived him into divulging his feelings, I sweetly assured him that I needed time to process everything. I promised that the next time we met, I would be single and ready to rekindle our relationship. He eagerly embraced this prospect, displaying childlike excitement. In that moment, a sadistic pleasure washed over me, knowing the betrayal he was about to face. Back at home, I collaborated with my husband and a team of editors to initiate stage 3 of the plan. Recordings and videos were meticulously crafted to conceal my identity while emphasizing my feminine presence. His words were strategically edited to amplify their negative impact. With this complete, the next step involved delivering the content to his current wife. Using another Instagram account, I ensured she encountered the incriminating material during a vulnerable moment. Engaging her in a feigned sympathetic conversation, I skillfully stoked her anger, gradually influencing her viewpoint, convincing her that she deserved better and that he wasn't worthy of her. Eventually, I guided her toward the idea of revenge. Continuing to act as a concerned friend, I encouraged her to divorce him and take everything, emphasizing that he was trying to return to his ex-wife. With the seeds of discontent sown, she fell into my manipulative web, convinced that leaving him was the right choice. In the fourth update, I gleefully announced that my scheme had succeeded. A week after the revelations, he called me, enraged and threatening retaliation for my deception. Calmly listening to his tirade, I laughed with my fiancé, reveling in the success of my plot. Soon after, I received a message from my new best friend, announcing she was initiating divorce proceedings. With significant assets at stake, she secured a powerful lawyer ready to leave him financially ruined. As usual, I continued to manipulate her, planting dark ideas in her mind. Once convinced that she had completely turned against him, I vanished, using work as my alibi. The flood of letters also came to a halt, indicating that my elaborate scheme had worked. Clearly, they had finally grasped that my job was safe. After everything with the divorce and my ex-husband's outburst, I was taken aback to receive a message from him a little over a month later. He claimed he wanted to apologize for what transpired. Initially, I was shocked and suspicious, and my doubts were confirmed when he suggested treating me to dinner as a form of apology. He expressed interest in possibly rekindling our relationship or at least becoming friends again, stressing that we had been friends before lovers. I discussed this with my fiancé, and we both felt uneasy about the situation. We decided to play along. So my fiancé arranged for someone to discreetly observe him to uncover any hidden agendas. It didn't take long for our concerns to be justified. Just 3 days before the planned dinner, he was seen at a shop known for dealing in substances, including Rofa. Further investigation revealed his intention to drug me during our dinner, film compromising situations, and potentially use the footage for blackmail or to manipulate me into rekindling our relationship or aiding with his legal issues. The horrifying realization of his intentions sent chills down my spine. In response to this shocking revelation, my fiancé proposed a counter-strategy, suggesting we give him a taste of his own medicine. The day before our dinner, we arranged for a male stripper to discreetly follow me, maintaining a distance until I was drugged. Once the effects set in, the stripper would step in to capture the moment, intending to share the footage with his wife and anyone involved in his legal battles. The plan was executed perfectly as I met him on the scheduled day. Amidst another round of apologies and remorseful speeches, he confessed to wrongly accusing me of sabotaging his marriage, even thanking the mysterious individual behind it. During our conversation, I noticed him tampering with my drink, but I managed to switch it just in time. After he ingested the altered drink, I calmly excused myself to the restroom, anticipating his inevitable pursuit. True to form, he soon entered the dimly lit hallway, where he was quickly apprehended. Our scheme had unfolded seamlessly, and now I awaited the fallout from our strategic retaliation. I played my role by inquiring about him and taking care of the bill that night. The events were a blur, but the following morning, his wife texted me, expressing her devastation. It turned out that the man she was divorcing, who was now expecting a child with me, had cheated not only with his ex-wife, but also with a man. It was a ridiculous situation, and while I struggled to keep a straight face, I maintained my act. At the same time, I continued with the lawsuit, and judging by the latest headlines, the video had reached the right audience. That's the essence of what's been happening. I feel everything is nearing a resolution, and soon life will return to normal. I'll wait before sharing a final update. In my concluding update, I revealed that he had lost everything. Just as I had hoped, his marriage fell apart, and Caitlin walked away with everything in the divorce, including full custody, child support, and nearly all their assets. The court ruled decisively against him, leading to his bankruptcy. My last encounter with him showed the gravity of his situation. Both he and his mother ended up broke and homeless, shuttling between shelters. Any attempts to visit the clinic were thwarted by my fiancé's vigilance, ensuring they never returned. As I get ready for my upcoming wedding, I can't help but reflect on the irony that he divorced me, believing I would crumble without them. Instead, he's the one begging for scraps. I emphasize not only their just fate but also the power of karma. I'm grateful for the support I've received throughout this journey, and I conclude by affirming that karma indeed has a way of catching up. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Stay amazed.